You've been wasting all of 2024. You're in a fucking time vacuum. The boot of the inevitable is on your neck, and you're sitting there just waiting to be crushed. 2024 should have absolutely changed your life. You should have at least gotten a boner preparing to fuck. No, you've done nothing. It's amazing how much you can achieve if you actually try, and you should feel deep shame if 2024 did not change your life. That's the kind of year you need to have if you want to be a winner. 2025, you should have a list which rivals ours. When we ask you at the end of 2025 what you've achieved, you should have a list which you can hold parallel to ours and not feel a deep sense of shame without feeling a deep sting of regret for how you have wasted your time. If you're watching this, most of you are average. But that's fine, because you can win if you're average if you're first. You can win if you're average if you try harder than the rest. You can win if you're average if you pay attention. You can win if you're average if you do the right things, if you're not lazy. It's very easy to win if you're average. You just need to get another advantage. And the easiest advantage is I'm prepared to put in the work every day, show up, and I'm going to start right now. I guarantee you results if you do that. Time to get rich. Why? Well, there's two reasons. Reason one is that wealth gives you power and allows you to move the needle. Because most of you are not rich enough to move the needle in any significant way. And two, wealth also gives you the ability to build your own reality. It's kind of amazing to me that many of you wake up and nobody cares when you talk. And that doesn't seem to bother you or inspire action out of you. Most of you are going through life screaming into the void and nobody gives a fuck what you say. How are you going to be a full-grown man? Nobody give a shit what you think or what you say and not feel shame. Shouldn't your goal for 2025 be to have a voice? At least. Your primary mission should be to be as rich and strong as possible, because these are measures of dedication. These are measures of competence. You're praying for a ladder. I don't want them. I don't want easy wins. I don't want crypto to go up. I don't want Trump to fix anything. I want it to stay a fucking mess. I want to have to wake up every day and grind out and become richer than everyone else because I work harder than everyone else and I try harder than everyone else. I don't want any easy ways out. I don't want to feel motivated. I want to feel tired and stressed. I want to run on pure discipline and adrenaline. Nobody is motivated at 4 a.m. Nobody. But some people are up anyway. You're praying for an easy way out. I don't fucking want one, because if there is an easy way out, yeah, I'll win. But other people will win who I don't think deserve to win. The universe has never, I've ever seen, ever given an easy way out to anybody. So I don't believe it's fucking coming. Doesn't matter if it's hot or fucking cold, you need to make money. Doesn't matter if you're happy or sad, you need to make money. Gentlemen, it's go time. It's go time like it's never been before. Either things are gonna go great and you need to get your ducks in a row now before they go too great, e.g. the Bitcoin price goes to the moon, or things are gonna go wrong and you need to get your ducks in a row before they go wrong, e.g. Bitcoin price tanks. It doesn't matter. You're trapped in a forest, surrounded by bramble and ghouls which intend on taking your soul. And I am outside of the forest. And I am screaming to you saying, I know a way out. The path is long, it is dangerous, it is arduous. You may hurt yourself, you may get cut. It's difficult, but I can guarantee you it leads out. And perhaps there's another voice saying, I know an easy path and it just leads straight out and it's easy. If you believe them, try. But if it was true, if there was an easy path out, why are so many people still stuck? Why are so many people still trapped if there's an easy way out of this mess? Surely the fact that most people can't escape is testament to the fact that the only way out is hard. I can show you where the gold mine is and I can give you a pickaxe, but you have to dig. If you're not going to dig, don't go. Do not go down the gold mine with a pickaxe if you're not prepared to dig. If you're not prepared to work, don't fucking go down there. Stay at the top and never have a chance of finding gold. You have TikTok brain. Your mind has been assassinated by the algorithms. And that's why you can't dedicate yourself to anything. So The average man in the world today, what he does is, let me tell you what the average man does. He starts something, and then he stops when it's hard. And then he goes back to TikTok brain or jerking off. If you work hard while everyone else is resting, for some reason, that work you do is double as powerful. It's almost like God is watching the world, and he has a big pile of benefits. And he's sitting there looking down on earth, and he's saying, who's doing work right now so I can give them some benefits? I only have so many benefits per day I can hand out. And on a normal day, X amount of billion people are doing work, so he hands out some benefits. But on a day when everyone else is being lazy, when you do work, when he divvies up the benefits for the work, you're gonna get more for it. You can go through life trying your very best to avoid difficult situations, or you can get very good at handling difficult situations, because it's often at the end of the difficulty or on the other side of the unfortunate circumstance that huge opportunity awaits. Do not hope for an easy life. Instead, hope to be strong enough to deal with a hard life. It's supposed to be difficult. If you want to have a life that is worth living, it has to be a difficult life. There is no light without dark. The majority of men are invisible. And when I say invisible, I truly mean that. I want you to understand that when a beautiful woman walks into Starbucks and you serve her coffee, you're not human to her. You're not a man to her. She doesn't care about your struggle. She doesn't care about your mental health. She doesn't care what happens to you. She has no interest in you. You're basically invisible to her. You could sit here and say, hey, my name's this, and my hobbies are this, and I want to do this. She has no interest because you're not high value. The majority of men out here live invisible lives. They're hard lives. You work very hard. You build the roads. You're tired. You're struggling, but you're invisible. And I think that's one of the worst punishments a man can be bestowed with, is invisibility for his entire human existence. What you want to do is to matter. You want people to respect you. You don't want to be a number. You want to be a name. You want people to know who you are. And to do that, you must do excellent things, which means you must live an extraordinary life, which means you're going to have the extraordinarily good and the extraordinarily bad. And you need to be a man and not be a coward and not be afraid and stand up and say, I'm ready for the good if it comes with the bad, because then I'm not invisible anymore. You have to love the war. You're only going to be good at fighting if you enjoy the battle. You have to be the kind of person who smiles every time he gets shot. I've never been a coward. I've never been a pussy. I'm not afraid of all the negatives that come with the positives. I want an exceptional life, exceptionally good, exceptionally bad. I refuse to be invisible. And you must feel that pain deep inside of your heart to understand that nobody cares about you. And they shouldn't. That's not their fault. That is your fault. The world, the matrix, the universe, God does not have time to sit and be concerned with the opinions of lazy brokies. You have to show everybody that your opinion matters, and you only do that through absolute excellence. View the world this way. Everybody is given the same amount of chances all of the time. And the people who are very successful are people who act on those chances. People who are prepared. Let's imagine there's the same amount of prison riots. A prison riot affects everybody in the jail. The man who escaped only escaped because he was prepared for the riot. And the men who don't are the men who've refused to prepare. You have had the same number of chances as all of the people more successful than you, and you simply didn't act on them. I refuse to believe you haven't had opportunities. You've had opportunities. You could have paid more attention. You could have worked harder. You could have had unmatched perspicacity to identify every opportunity. You could have had sheer indefatigability to make sure when an opportunity was identified that it was wrung of every single piece of value. You could grab it like a wet rag and squeeze every single piece of value out of the negative or positive circumstance you found yourself in. We all have the same opportunities, and the men you see who are monumentally successful simply act on them when you don't. I don't believe anybody who's struggling didn't have chances. I believe they didn't act. And the reason this is such an important mindset is because it puts all of the burden on you. It is down to you to act. It is not down to you to wait and hope for an opportunity to come that is so easy that you're going to walk down the street and find a winning lottery ticket. No, it is down to you to pay attention and act quickly. When someone gives you a chance, when someone shows an opportunity, when you have an idea, when we say you should do this or we believe this is going to happen, that is your time to finally act and do something. If you refuse to act, you will never escape. Please understand, if you're locked in a jail and somebody outside of the jail says, I'm going to break you out. I know how it works. I escaped myself. I was in the jail and I got out, and I'm going to come back in and give you the map and show you how I got out, show you the path you can go down, show you where the guards are, show you where the hidden tunnels are so you can escape. Slavery is coming for you. We're not talking out of our ass. We know things you don't know. And the reason we know them is because of our echelon in social standing. And we are warning you as fairly and as calmly as we possibly can. If you had been in the rooms we've been in, and if you had overheard the conversations we've been forced to have, you would be panicking. You would be panicking in your heart. And when you sit here and say you don't have motivation to succeed, all you're doing is saying, I am prepared to be annihilated and prepared to be destroyed, because I don't know how else to say it within the English language. I don't know which other words to put in the correct order to construe to you the fact that once you get to a certain size, your soul must be sold to the agenda, and the agenda is to enslave everybody. So I guess the real question is, are you a hero? Because when the bad times come in every single movie, the heroes stand up and fight. But there's always all of the B characters, the background characters, the extras, who just get killed by the marauding horde. Think about it. You watch a movie and you see the horses of evil charge into the village, and the hero is standing there with his sword ready to fight against them. But before they reach the hero, they chop off the head of some random villager. That random villager is probably you. If you're not the hero, you're the random villager who's going to be destroyed. You have to decide, are you going to fight against this, or are you just going to accept it and have your head chopped off? And if you're going to fight against it, you need a powerful network of men and you need money. Those are the only two things that are going to allow you to resist the enslavement which is coming. You need to feel fear, and you need to start doing something right now. You need to be a hero. I like to consider myself a wise old man, and I'm trying my best to encourage and instigate a revolution amongst the youth where men take absolute self-accountability and they believe in themselves and they take responsibility for absolutely everything. As a man, you are most formidable if everything is your fault. If it rains outside and you get wet, that is still your fault. Can you control the rain? No. Could you have brought an umbrella? Yes. You need to blame yourself for all things, the good and the bad. And by doing this, you take absolute self-accountability, which allows you to build a mental model in which you will find solutions, 1. 2, avoid trouble, because you know that anything bad happens to you is your fault. And 3, be the most fearsome competitor possible, because we're living in a very competitive world nowadays amongst the elites. The people who understand that you're living inside of a fish tank are trying very hard to get out. And you have to make sure that you can outrun some of them if you want to escape. It's an age-old adage. If a bear is chasing a group of people, you do not have to be the fastest one. You just have to be faster than the slowest. The slowest person is going to die. How can you not give a fuck about things? Well, I'll tell you how. If you're filthy rich and you have a strong network of people around you who you trust, and you have a good family, and you have beautiful children, you have women who love you, and you have beautiful supercars, you live with your best friends in a compound, you have armed guards, and you're proud of yourself, and you're strong, and you train hard every day, and you're monumentally successful, and all of your dreams come true, and if you want something, you can instantly snap it up. You want a Pagani, you want a Bugatti, you want a $25 million apartment, anything you want, you buy. It's very easy to not give a shit about the opinions of people who don't have one fraction of your success. And what these people are trying to do is they're trying to drag you down. They're not trying to elevate themselves. They're trying to drag you down, which is a very different thing, because it's amazing how God rewards those who are trying to build and create and elevate, and how it punishes those who are simply trying to destroy and be spiteful and negative. And these people are going to dedicate hours and hours and millions of hours of their life towards a certain cause to try and drag people down who they cannot affect because they're already too powerful and too large. And they're wasting their own human experience, and they're not progressing or advancing themselves in any way. They will stay brokies, and we will stay rich forever. If you're already working hard, you're already going to the gym, you're already training, you make sure that you're getting as much muscles as possible, as much money as possible, you're dedicated, you don't sleep in, you don't waste your time, you don't smoke weed, you don't play video games, you're focused on trying to become fantastic as a person, you can just ignore that girl. That girl who broke your heart or cheated on you, just ignore her. The most powerful move you can make is ignore her. Yeah, you could yell at her. Yeah, you could try and make her scared of you, blah, blah, stupid crap, right? That's not going to work. The powerful move is just to completely ignore her because you're on your ascent. She is likely on her descent. She likely has no intention of improving herself, no intention of becoming richer, no intention of becoming better looking. Time is against her. As she gets older, she's going to lose her looks. You're going to continue your ascent, and she's going to have to watch you for the rest of her life be the man that she could have been with that she's no longer good enough for. The best thing you can do is simply ignore. That is the powerful move. And it's the same with also men. It's not even a gendered argument. There's men who want to be your friends right now, who wanted to be your friend, and they did something wrong to you. And if you're on the right path doing the right things, karma, God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is going to teach them a lesson for simply failing to be a good person to you while they had the chance. Being a hater and trying to drag successful people down will never work. You've seen how me and my friends live our lives. You can't drag us down. Even if you hate us, if you truly hated us and you had an iron mind, you would take all of that hate and use it to become as successful as possible yourself. Outcompete us. Beat us, become better than us, but they can't. So instead they try to drag us down. If you train hard every single day, you don't have to worry about a little bit of vitamin C.
It's true.
If you don't train and you don't smoke, you're still going to be a pussy.
Yes.
The answer is always hard work. As soon as you are granted life, you are guaranteed death. What you do in between is up to you. You are all conscious. That could end tomorrow, that could end in 100 years. But the time between the beginning of your consciousness and the end of it is completely up to you. Training is never the wrong decision. If you're in jail, you should train. If you are free, you should train. If you are rich, you should train. If you are poor, you should train. If you smoke, you should train. If you don't smoke, you should train. If you drink, you should train. If you don't drink, you should train. You cannot escape that hard work is always the correct decision. There is no time in any scenario when working hard is going to be the wrong answer. You should always try your very best in all things. I will smoke 10 cigars a day and beat the shit out of you because I train harder than you can possibly fathom. There's a version of you that never sleeps in, never skips training, never wastes time. There's a version of you who never fails. It is waiting for you. Genuinely ask yourself a question, you at home. If you had done those things for the last 2 years, you never skipped a training, you never wasted time, you never scrolled TikTok, you never jerked off to Pornhub, you never sat aimlessly on the internet typing in garbage, never played video games, you never wasted time. You never skipped training, you were training every single day. You never slept in, you were never lazy. There's this version of you. Imagine the person you would be. Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you, and the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it. The universe is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all of their might and not get it. The only people who do not have the things they want are the people who do not try for them. I've never seen a person wake up and say, my only dedication in life is to solve a Rubik's Cube and fail. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you, and you are declining that version of yourself. In the multiverse, in the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things, and he is a greater person than you can even fathom. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. Pain is an extremely important part of the equation. Pain is the elixir of success. When people say, this bad thing happened to me and I'm suffering, I say, good. It is pain which is required. It's one of the elements in the chemical reaction. If the chemical reaction requires 5 particular distinct compounds, and you have 4 and you're missing 1, it simply doesn't work. Pain for a man is one of the most important elements in becoming successful. Batman is Batman because they killed his parents. If they did not kill his parents, he would not be Batman. You're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to take that pain. The worst thing that can happen to you as a man is you live a life with no pain in it. To be born into a rich family and have a nice, easy life and be given money, and you don't have to go to the gym and not have to train because you have bodyguards and sit around like a fuck up. You're going to be miserable and unhappy and a drug addict buying prostitutes. You're only going to have women who adore you. You're only going to feel confident in yourself and feel happy when you've been through hell and come out the other side. The pain is required, and you'll often notice that people who are better than you are people who have suffered more than you have suffered. So the person who is waiting for you, he requires your motivation. It also requires huge amounts of pain. So when bad things happen to you, do not sit at home and lament. Do not feel sorry for yourself. Instead, look in the mirror and say, thank you, God, for giving me one of the ingredients that is needed for the chemical concoction that is going to turn me into a superhero. Because pain is an extremely important one. In fact, it's one of the most important ones for a man. Discipline is the key to success. If you cannot force yourself to do something you don't want to do, how are you ever going to put yourself through the suffering required for greatness? If you cannot force yourself to train when you do not want to train, if you cannot force yourself to work when you don't want to work, if you can't force yourself to not log into Pornhub or force yourself to eat right, how can you possibly ever become a monumentally successful person if you cannot control yourself long enough to do what must be done as opposed to what you feel like doing? The only people who get to live their lives based on how they feel are women and children. Children can cry because they feel like crying, as can a woman. A woman can start an argument because she feels like arguing, as can a child. A man must do what he is supposed to do irregardless of how he feels. That is the key component to masculinity, is discipline. If you do not have the discipline to dedicate yourself to anything, you are going to fail and be crushed by the people who can. If you only go to the gym when you feel like going to the gym, you're never going to be as strong as the people who go to the gym when they don't feel like going to the gym. That is a reality of life. So, I train every single day. I've actually heard from some people saying, you overtrain. And I explained to them, one, I don't believe in rest. I'm not you. I'm not pussy, and I'm not broke like you are, Mr. Fitness Trainer, standing around the gym teaching people for $50 an hour. I don't need to listen to you. Secondly, I don't train because I want to get bigger. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up and I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it, so I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do what he doesn't want to do when it needs to be done. I am that man, and it's more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise at this point. How can you ever outcompete me if I can force myself to do the things I don't want to do and you cannot? Discipline is absolutely essential for success, and you need to get very comfortable and very used to the idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why it is difficult. That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. You can give most people a roadmap to success. You can give them a Ferrari with a full tank of gas, and a lot of people still wouldn't make the destination because they would say the drive is too far away. Quitters, they don't have the discipline. You can tell them exactly how to do it. You can give them the mechanism to get there, but they don't have the discipline to complete the drive and end up at the destination. That is the majority of Earth. This is your competition. People who, even if they are told what to do and people tell them exactly how to do it and help them do it, still quit, still fail because they lack discipline. It doesn't matter what I do. If they are a quitter, guess what they're going to do? They're going to quit. No matter how simple the map is to read, no matter how fast a Ferrari is, somewhere along the drive, the sun's going to get in their eyes, meh, meh, and they're going to sit there and go, I don't like this, this is hard, and they're going to quit. Quitters are the number one type of people that nobody can help. If you're a quitter, I can't help you, life can't help you, God himself cannot help a quitter. So if you lack discipline, you lack the very basic building block to any type of success which exists on the planet. By every single metric which can be measured with science, you are going to stay a loser and a failure. Sitting in the commute without losing your patience is war. Trying to find a way to escape your slave job is war. Keeping your wife happy and your children inspired is war. Training to become stronger than before is war. It is all war, and it cannot be avoided. And I'll tell you why it's war, because war is two opposing sides trying to achieve the same goal. Two opposing sides want the same land or the same influence over X land. And the car you want, the Ferrari, you're not the only person who wants it. The reason it's so expensive is because other people want it. The girl you want, the beautiful woman, Everyone wants her. It is war. It is competition. Everything about life as a man is war. It is conflict because you are competing against the other men who want it the same, which is why discipline is such an important thing, which is why you must take the pain and add it to the concoction to become as formidable as possible. Life is war. This idea that you can go through life as a man and avoid war is probably the biggest mistake that most men make, because it is impossible for you to achieve anything significant without war. Running a business is war. Running a hotel, running a restaurant, running an online company, it's war. Training is war. Life as a man is war. You need to wake up and view it exactly as what it is. Everything I want, other people want. Everything I desire, other men are trying to get. This is a war and I must outcompete them. That is the best possible mental model you can have. Evolution requires pain. While others complain that they do not feel happy enough, I'm happy I'm struggling. I don't want to be happy. I want to be great. This is the beauty of life as a man. Let me ask you a question. Imagine you're engaged in mortal combat against me, the top G. Somehow, grace from God, a miracle, you have managed to survive longer than a few seconds. You have me in a chokehold and I have you in a chokehold. Both of us are losing air. You're sitting there struggling, understanding you're in pain, about to pass out, wishing you could breathe, and you look across at me, and I'm smiling. Do you understand? I don't care. I'm happy to be struggling. I wanted to fight. You wanted to win. I wanted to fight. That's the difference. You're concerned with winning. I wanted to just fight, and we're fighting. That is the beauty of life as a man, to be great. If you concern yourself only with being happy, you are once again acting like a female or a child. Happiness is fleeting. It doesn't even matter if you're concerned only with the hedonism of happiness. You're going to drink alcohol and go to parties and go to festivals and take drugs. I want to be happy. Who cares? I want to be great. I want to be great all of the time. And let me ask you a question as a man at home, genuinely, truthfully. Would you rather be a loser who's always smiling, a happy loser, or would you rather be a stressed winner? Because I'll tell you something about winners. Most of them are stressed.
We are stressed.
We're stressed. Putin is stressed. Genghis Khan was stressed when his messenger turned up after a 4-week ride with updates from the battlefront of Iran. I'm sure he was stressed by what he read. Even if it was very good, even if it all looked fantastic, he started to feel stressed. Okay, well now maybe I need to go to Iran. How long is it going to take me to get there? Maybe we need to send more horses. Maybe we need to colonize Iran. He felt stress because the beauty of life as a man is to be great. So you have to sit here and ask yourself, do you want to be a happy loser that's insignificant? Nobody knows you exist. Women don't respect you. Men don't respect you. Nobody cares if you live or die, but you get to smile all the time. Or do you want to be one of the most important people on the planet with a little bit of stress? I get these messages all the time. How do I feel happy as a man? You're not supposed to be happy. You're supposed to be monumentally influential and capable. That's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be the kind of person that when people call your phone with a problem, you can fix it. You're supposed to be the kind of person that people look at and feel deep respect for, male or female. Even my enemies respect me. They don't want to. They can't help it. But they can't stand my brilliance. They go, he's so tall and strong and sexy and rich. All these women keep sending him super chats. My wife doesn't even suck me off. It destroys their soul. I am brilliant because I've decided to be brilliant. And if I have to sacrifice happiness to be brilliant, then that's fine. You know what the great thing about it is? You know what's amazing what God gives, how the whole world becomes full circle? If you stop caring about being happy and you start caring instead about being great, guess what you end up being?
Great.
Along with great.
And you know what? Yeah,
happy. You end up happy if you forget about happiness and try to become great. If you concern yourself with happiness, you end up in a crowd surrounded by ketamine skanks jumping up and down in a festival doing dumb shit. You will never be successful if you're concerned about being happy, so forget about it. If you lack somewhere, excel somewhere else. Counter your weaknesses by honing other capabilities. If you're ugly, become filthy rich. If you're poor, be as strong as an ox. Life is unfair. The primary focus of your energies is to balance the books.
And there's two different ways you could interpret that. You can, obviously, increase the attributes that you are lacking. If you have the ability to train, because a lot of people don't. Some people are born without arms and legs, but you, with 2 arms and 2 legs, are sitting at home jerking off the Pornhub, flabby and fat, If you have the ability to train, you should be doing it. But also, you know, there are some things that some people are just better at, and you can counteract that problem by teaming up with people who compensate for your weaknesses. People who are strong in areas where you are weak, and you team up with people where you are strong in areas where they are weak. I don't think between the people in this house and our group of friends, we lack anything.
Correct.
Anything. Correct. Literally anything. We can sit as a group and have a conversation about anything with anyone in the world and give useful insight and change people's lives for the better, because although I am not perfect, our team compensates one for each other.
And that's the point of brotherhood. So excel in one area if you lack in others. I have people say to me, Andrew, I'm short. What do? I'm short. Okay, God made you short. Fine, good. Doesn't matter. You can't change it. What you can do is become as strong as an ox and become filthy rich and monumentally important and extremely influential. You can do that. People say, I'm poor. You should be strong. Oh, I'm strong, but I don't have any money. Okay, then teach others to be strong.
Yes.
There's always a way you can take your advantages and use them. And by teaming up with other men, other people, you can build a team in which there are no weaknesses. So if you have a disadvantage, you also have somewhere God has given you a distinct advantage over others. And it is your duty to excel in that realm. It is your duty to become so monumentally influential and powerful within that specific criteria in which you have the capability to be brilliant, that your weaknesses no longer appear because they can be simply overshadowed by your network or overshadowed by your absolute competence. You can be in the exact same scenario you're currently in, living the exact same life with a different mental model in which you view the world, and you will not only feel more powerful, you will be more powerful, you'll achieve more amazing things, you will be greater, you will be happier with the same car, the same woman, the same house, the same income, the same everything, but your mind changes the lens in which you view the world. Lenses change things. Rose-tinted glasses, perhaps dark glasses. You can put glasses on, change the lens, and you can view the world differently by changing how your mind is constructed and put together and the way you view the world. That is the point of mental Aikido. Gentlemen, this is the year for winners. It's going to get harder and harder for a loser to win. It's going to get easier and easier for a winner to win. And the hard answer is for you to knuckle down, stop fucking praying for an economic miracle, stop praying for a political miracle, stop praying for a miracle via digital currency, get your fucking act together and start working all day, every day, until you finally have enough for you to no longer have to be forced to live an experience you don't enjoy anymore. It is only going to get worse. 2025 perhaps may be the best year of your life.